Imagine a world where the strongest being isn't driven by the need to conquer, but by the simple desire to care. A God who walks among mortals, not to remind them of their insignificance, but to lift them higher. Superman isn't just a character in a cape. He's an idea, a reflection of the best parts of us. And today, we're going to explore what Superman really stands for, why he resonates so deeply, and how his philosophy is a guiding star in a turbulent sky. After watching James Gunn's new Superman trailer, my subconscious Brian automatically said one iconic line. "It's a bird, it's a plane, and oh, it's Superman." I was stunned and left speechless by the visuals and the direction he's taking with the character. Initially, I was excited about the prospect of going to the theater to experience this adaptation. However, while browsing online, I came across discussions among fans of Zack Snyder regarding his portrayal of Superman in the film Man of Steel. I want to be clear, I do not criticize Snyder's work at all. I appreciate Man of Steel and think it brought a unique perspective to the character. Nonetheless, I noticed that some fans argue that Snyder's interpretation strayed from the essence of Superman as depicted in the comics. They feel he didn't fully capture the optimistic spirit that is often central to Superman's character. Conversely, there is a significant contingent of fans who passionately defend Snyder's vision, declaring Man of Steel to be one of the best Superman movies ever made. This divide in opinions among fans intrigued me. It sparked my desire to delve deeper into Superman's history in the comics and understand the various interpretations of his character over the years. I have become motivated to explore what the character truly represents in the broader DC universe, especially in light of the ongoing conversations about his legacy and significance. The myth of the invincible man. Have you ever felt powerless? Like the weight of the world is pressing on your shoulders, and no matter how much you strive, you can't lift it? Superman can. But here's the thing. Superman isn't really about super strength, flying, or heat vision. Superman is about us. He's not a god come to save us. He's a mirror showing who we could be. Superman is often misunderstood. To some, he's just a Boy Scout, a perfect hero without flaws, a boring ideal in a world that craves antiheroes. But here's the secret. Superman's invincibility isn't his defining trait. It's his vulnerability. Think about it. Superman is all-powerful. He could reshape continents, topple governments, or rule Earth as a king. Yet he doesn't. Why? Because Superman's greatest power isn't his strength. It's his restraint. It's his unshakable moral compass. The idea that he could, but chooses not to, defines him. He's a living metaphor for the potential of humanity. What we could become if we embrace compassion over control, hope over fear. Superman doesn't need to save the world to prove his worth. He saves it because he believes in ours. A beacon of hope in a cynical world. In the golden age of comics, Superman was created as a response to hardship. It was the 1930s, a time of economic despair, social unrest, and looming war. And here came this alien from a dying planet, standing tall as a symbol of hope. But Superman wasn't a fantasy escape. He was a promise. A promise that even in our darkest moments, there's a better way forward. Let's be honest, hope is hard. In a world filled with chaos and conflict, it's easier to give in to despair, to stop believing in change. Superman defies that. He reminds us that hope isn't naive, it's rebellion. It's staring into the abyss and saying, I still believe. He's the lighthouse guiding lost ships home, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. The philosophy of the man of tomorrow. Superman's philosophy is deceptively simple. Do good because you can. But beneath that simplicity lies a profound challenge. Superman asks us to consider what it means to truly be good. Not for recognition, not for power, but because it's the right thing to do. There's a moment in many Superman stories where he faces impossible odds, villains with powers that rival his, dilemmas with no easy answers. And yet, he doesn't falter. Why? Because Superman's strength isn't just physical, it's moral. He embodies the belief that the right choice is worth fighting for, even when it costs everything. Superman teaches us that morality isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about standing firm when the world tells you to bend. His philosophy isn't just about saving lives. It's about inspiring them. To be Superman isn't to be flawless. It's to keep striving, even when you fall short. The immigrant metaphor. Superman's story is, at its core, an immigrant story. He's Kal-El, a child sent from a dying world to a foreign land. He grows up in Kansas, a stranger among his own people, trying to reconcile where he's from with where he belongs. And isn't that the journey we all face? The search for identity, the struggle to fit in, the desire to contribute something meaningful to the world? Through Superman, we're reminded that strength isn't about where you come from. It's about what you do with where you are. He could have let his alien nature isolate him. Instead, he chooses to embrace humanity, flaws and all. He chooses to believe in us, even when we don't believe in ourselves. Superman's immigrant narrative isn't just a reflection of his creator's experiences. It's a universal truth. We all feel like outsiders sometimes. Superman shows us that belonging isn't about sameness, it's about connection. Why Superman matters today. Now, more than ever, we need Superman. Not because he can punch harder than anyone else, but because he reminds us of something we've forgotten: our shared humanity. In a world divided by fear, greed, and hate, Superman's philosophy cuts through the noise. He doesn't just save people, he inspires them to save each other. Superman isn't about power, he's about purpose. He's about the quiet strength it takes to be kind in a cruel world, the courage to believe in better when all evidence suggests otherwise. He's a challenge to all of us. If this alien from Krypton can choose love, why can't we? Superman doesn't wear a cape for himself. He wears it for us, to remind us of who we can be. He's not the unattainable ideal. He's the spark that ignites the fire within us all. So, the next time you see that red and blue suit, remember, Superman isn't just a hero. He's a mirror, a reflection of the best parts of us, waiting to be awakened. And the question isn't whether Superman is real. The question is, are we ready to be? If you found meaning in these words, hit that like button and share this video. Let's spread the message of hope, compassion, and strength and unity. Because we all have a little Superman in us, waiting to rise.